What's going on, everybody? Michael.Beveraggi here. We're here for Conan Gray. Conan Gray, I'm ready to have a good time with Conan Gray. Cautiously say good time because Conan's got some pretty sad music, but I love him for that. I feel like this is a true artist. Emphasis on artist. I've always been a big fan of Conan's ability to take some of these really painful, excruciating lyrics and put them into like these pop songs that you can actually enjoy listening to. Always writing from his perspective and experience, and I really appreciate that about his songwriting. He's got a few songs that live in some of my playlists and will always live in some of my playlists, be it Heather or People Watching or Family Line. Gosh, shout out to Family Line. Just like some real great songs, and it makes me really excited to jump into this new project, Found Heaven. What number project is this for Conan? Is this his third album? Yeah, this is his third album. I'm curious because he already, the whole sophomore slump, it's hard to follow. You had Kid Crow, you had Super 8. It's hard to follow up a good debut album with a better sophomore album. To me, he did that with Super 8. So I'm really curious to see how this album turns out with all that being put behind him. And usually it's around your third album where you really start kicking. You really got a vision of kind of who you are as an artist and the kind of sound you want to make. So I'm curious to see what this sounds like. I'm always curious to hear the songwriting. I'm ready, I think. As always, guys, full uncut reactions to this album and every other album and video I do is on my Patreon. Links in the description if you want to support and just listen to tons and tons and tons and tons of content with me. And if you're watching on YouTube, massage that subscribe button if you don't mind. All right, Found Heaven, track 1. What?
Walk alone into the darkest night.
Well, his sound is insane. His sound is insane. It's like some 70s, 80s rock, and it kind of matches his outfit on the album cover. Now that I'm hearing this, okay.
You'll never get your mama's wedding ring. Father always said he ruined everything, but you prayed,
Wow.
begged and prayed, heart unchanged. Don't be scared, little child, of that feeling.
Wow. Okay. Is this gonna be like a soft rock pop album? Is that what we're getting here? I did not expect this. This is not what Conan's other music sounds like. Yeah, some of the lyrics in here are whew. So I know that Conan's unlabeled, and obviously I respect that. We're definitely talking about the church and the church's lack thereof acceptance of, you know, people like Conan and people of the LGBTQ plus community, and that's where we are in this song. You talk about your mother and your father and the lack of acceptance there. You'll never get your mama's wedding ring. Father always said you ruined everything. You prayed, begged, and prayed. It's like you're pleading out to something bigger than you, but are you getting a response from that something bigger than you? There's a God in the sky. Don't believe him. Gods do love you now. It's like, I like the gods, plural, because it kind of says, like, you don't have to believe in this one God. You can believe in your own idea of God, and it can be multiple gods, kind of a deal. Yeah, you're in love. You found heaven. You can find your own version of heaven. There's a lot to take away from this. Man, Conan's so consistent with this, right? Like, he just always writes songs from his life, his lived experience, and I really appreciate that about him more than anything. I said that in the intro. And we're getting that right off the bat with Found Heaven. This sound is also crazy.
There's a God in the sky. Don't believe it.
This is insane. I'm like so thrown off. I don't know where my head is at right now. I'm so thrown off. This is the last thing I expected. Maybe I should have looked and paid more attention to the album cover because it matches. Is this gonna be the sound of the whole album? Another thing too, like, he really fit his voice into that sound too. That's the thing, is that's why I'm so thrown back, is like I've got multiple albums of Conan Gray's voice and I just wouldn't have imagined it fitting into this sound. It fit really well. It sounded great in that track, I thought. So hey, you can't don't let people like me or anybody box you in ever. Never Ending Song, track 2. We're doing this, huh? Like, we're doing this. I'm sure, I'm sure not the first person to have said this because it's so. It's just there. It's evident. This sounds like a Weeknd song, which is a hard thing to pull off. So it's a compliment that he's actually pulling it off so far that I can say it sounds like that. Like, where is his voice right now? He's like all the way down here, you know?
On and on, like a never-ending song. Your voice and music on the radio, and it goes on and on and on, like a never-ending song. On and on, like a never-ending song.
Yeah. I love him harmonizing with himself because he's doing the on and on like a never-ending song, like he's been doing throughout the song, but he's doing it, you know, like down here in the voice he's been using the whole song. But now he's harmonizing with himself with the more classic Conan voice I'm used to, and something about those voices coming together is magical.
Like a never-ending song.
Yeah.
Like a never-ending song.
Okay. A relationship that clearly didn't work out. Made it sound like another person of fame. Because you said, I thought I saw your face in a magazine. I thought I heard your voice on the radio type thing. It's like you're always reaching out. It said you wasted my adolescence so we could spend time like on the edges of you. So it's like we were just like you were wasting all my time to live your life and you weren't even living your life. Like some really great lyrics in there. But it's hard not to get more wrapped up in the sound of the song and where he's sitting at vocally, especially again if you listen to Conan before. This is such a fun start. I'm just all right. Fainted Love, track 3. Let's keep it going. This is the sound. I'm here for it.
Stoplight to Familiar Drive, through another ghost town on a Saturday night.
Saturday night. It's just great. Like the way he's pulling off is it's wonderful.
When your heart aches and it's dead in the night, don't you worry for me, it's cool. It's enough to survive. Don't you worry, I want your faded love. That's enough. Faded love.
Oh, I like that.
Faded love. That's enough. Faded love.
I like that a lot.
Nothing.
This is fucking great.
Worst if you want it. When your heart aches and it's dead in the night.
It's just before I love this chorus. I want to stop it before it gets into my favorite part of the chorus, that Fainted Love part. We're 3 tracks in, and I'm not over the sound of this album. That's it's and I mean that in a good way. You know, I mean that in a good way. It just it's wow, what's going on here? Okay.
You worry for me, it's cool. It's enough to survive. Don't you worry, I want your faded love. That's enough. Faded love.
So fun. This is so fucking fun. If you don't think this is fun, I don't know what you're listening to. Personally, that song is very chorus heavy, which is good because the chorus is great. Like the chorus works in that song so well, and it carries the whole song. The chorus carries the whole song. So when you make a song that is like so reliant on the chorus, you gotta kill the chorus, and I thought that he did in that song. All right, Lonely Dancers. Let's keep the party going because that's what's happening. Track 4.
Well, only dancers, join me for the night. Well, only dancers, baby, dance with me so we don't cry. Well, only dancers, cry. La 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 la. Your love left you, broke up tonight.
Hold up, Conan. Can we talk about the difference between his vocal on the la 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 to the next line? Hold the fuck up.
La 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 la. Your love left you.
At the same the range he's showing on this album it's fucking insane.
La 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 la. Your love left you.
2 different people.
Broke up tonight. My lover's busy kissing other guys. Oh, we're I know the perfect way to waste our time.
By dancing.
Well, only dancers,
Hey.
join me for the night. Well, only dancers,
I said the last song. If you can't enjoy the last song, "Fainted Love," then I just don't know. I'm sorry. Sorry. Music's subjective, so This is the definition of that. This is even better. This is even better, and it's the definition of. I mean, it's a song literally about both of our lovers out doing fuck shit. We come across each other. We're both just lonely people, a couple lonely motherfuckers. Let's just dance the night away so that we don't cry, because of our other shit going on. So this song is made for you to dance to. So if you got some sadness in your life, turn this song on, get to dancing, and push that sadness away for at least 2 minutes and 28 seconds, or for the whole 37-minute album, basically, because that's what these songs are feeling like they're going to represent.
I know the answer, baby. Dance with me so we don't cry.
It's so good. This is fucking awesome.
Get that guy. He don't know love. I hope he dies.
Damn.
Get back up. We'll be alright.
Hold on, because I'm going to get fucking crucified for saying this, but whatever. It's a little Michael Jackson. It's a little Michael Jackson. It is what it is. Conan can be inspired by Michael Jackson. That's fine. I'm not saying he's the next Michael Jackson. I'm just saying he's clearly inspired by Michael in here, as The Weeknd was inspired by Michael. Like I said, I made a Weeknd comparison earlier. Weeknd was clearly inspired by Michael. Conan clearly inspired by him too. I'm hearing a ton of Michael, especially when we get to this part right here.
Stop. Forget that guy.
It's there.
He don't know love. I hope he dies. Get back up. We'll be alright.
Oh, this is so good, man. This is so good. Lonely dancers, join me for the night. It's so fucking fun. Whew, what a great song. Wow, it's not long enough. That's my favorite song so far. 4 tracks in, track 4. That's the GOAT of this album for me. But the whole album so far is what I described. It's what I described. It's just get to dancing. Get to dancing, man. If you're fucking sad, turn this album on. Wow. Okay. Alley Rose, track 5. Let's keep it going, guys.
The way you kissed me hard and fast, I knew it'd be the last. Don't leave me hanging alone again.
Oh.
Don't leave me hanging alone again. Oh, let you go, Alley Rose.
I don't want to stop this at all. Oh my goodness. He's going to do it again. That transition from I knew it'd be the last, this hot makeout session you're having with this person, so much romance backed behind it, and in that moment you're like, this is the last person I'm gonna be sharing my lips with, and then that transition musically into the don't leave me hanging alone. I felt like I was being lifted off my chair. I know it's gonna play again, but I'm still gonna take it back to that transition.
I knew it'd be the last.
I wasn't ready for that. Like, what is this? And then it's like,
Leave me hanging alone again.
it's so epic.
Don't leave me hanging alone again. Oh, let you go. Think I feel I waited all year at your feet, like maybe you'd love me. So don't leave me hanging alone again.
It's so good.
Leave me hanging alone again. Oh, let you go, Alley Rose. And I don't even care if it's just a summer fling, if it's all experimental. You go back to safer things, but I swear.
Know what he's talking about there. If it's all experimental and you go back to safer things, come on, we know what he's talking about there. He's such a good songwriter, man. It's all based on his lived experience. You can't not appreciate that. So, that's what's so cool about these songs. This song sounds more like older Conan songs, but infused with the sound of this album. But even on this album, it actually reminds me of The Weeknd in a way where, like, it's hard for me to take in The Weeknd's lyrics when I listen to his songs at first because of the sound of the song. There's so much going on, and in a good way, right? Like, those songs are just so epic in their sound alone. And that's going on in this album, but Conan's such a great songwriter that there's going to be so many lyrics to appreciate outside of the sound of the album itself. So like this is going to be such a replayable album. One, because it sounds so great, but two, because you know there's going to be lyrics you miss because it sounds so great.
Again, don't leave me hanging. Oh, where'd you go, go, alley rose? Oh, where'd
Yo.
you go, go, go? Don't leave me hanging alone again.
This guy worked on his voice. There's no doubt about. I mean, he sounds so good on this album. Come on, right here.
Don't leave me, don't leave me hanging alone again.
Ooh.
Don't leave me hanging. Oh, where'd you go, go, alley rose? Oh, where'd you go, go, go?
Yeah, you can't tell me he didn't work on his voice. He sounds so good on here. This year is fucking insane. This year's ridiculous. Like, the fact that this album is this good so far. The Lizzy album was great. Ariana's album was fucking fantastic. Beyonce's album is already an all-timer. Taylor's dropping. You know my expectations for that are you can't find the bar, it's so high. Billy's dropping. Zayn is dropping. I mean, this year is crazy. And Ali Rose, like, following Lonely Dancers, like, talk about that run right there. Yeah, all right. The Final Fight, track 6. I'm feeling a lot of things right now. I feel like I'm watching an 80s movie.
But all I wanted was the final fight, and all I needed was to make it right. Tonight, there's nothing left to do but finally tell you what you put me through.
Wow. Oh, man.
And I came right back after growing, yet you're still the same. Now it's me who may be broken, it was you to blame.
Now all I wanted.
It was the final fight, and all I needed was to make it right tonight.
You know what's really dope about this too is that it doesn't feel like a gimmick or anything. Like, I really do feel like I'm listening to some shit that's playing in some of these 70s and 80s films. Like, this feels like it belongs. Like, it feels like he did it full justice, and not just because he's like, I want to do something different. No, like, it feels like Conan really embraced the sound, put some work in, did some research, got the right producers and team around him. This is so well done. And even like this track, it's so short, but it's still talking about so much. Just getting that closure from somebody, that final fight, needing to like air all the last grievances, needing to just get everything off your chest, needing to actually be able to heal and move on. You heal and move on, and then you look back and you see that they're still in the same place. And it makes you feel, I guess, for Conan a little bit better, because in the very least it tells you, okay, it wasn't me. All right, it wasn't me. Thankfully, I made the step and moved on, and I'm in this better place, and it's only up from here. All right, Miss You, track 7. What a great time I'm having. This is great.
It's snapping back like a rubber band. The fear of love is my tendency, but I feel it, believe it. I've never meant to break your heart.
You know who he sounded like there? Who's that? Who am I thinking of? Celine Dion, I think. He sounded a little bit like Celine Dion right here.
The fear of love is my tendency,
Right here.
but I feel it, believe it. I've never meant to break your heart. I miss you. Miss you. Didn't think you would understand. I came back only wanting you. 'Cause I feel it, believe it.
Celine Dion, baby.
Never meant to break your heart. I miss you.
Yeah, like, it's like you know, considered like making choices that benefit you even though like it's at the detriment of the other person. Selfish, but at the same time you gotta like make those choices for yourself. I definitely like where I like that the song is coming from that place because it shows kind of Conan being able to speak, because in the final fight, he's talking to somebody who sounds like wasn't really measuring up to the level of partner Conan needed. And in here, it sounds like it might have been a totally different situation. So I love hearing about different situations, accountability versus, you know, actually dishing it out to somebody else. That song didn't hit me as hard as like the other songs, which is fine because in comparison, like these songs are, especially like I don't even know how like the opening tracks, like 1, 2, 3, I was so blown away that I need to go back and re-listen to them because I was in a different world. It still makes you want to move. It still like fits the whole theme of the album. Sound-wise, it fits on the album very well, obviously. So no real complaints as far as that goes. Track 8, I have no idea what the heck that is or how to say it. Bourgeoisie. He's using the plural term, but it means middle class. Middle class, essentially, is what it is referring to, or in Marxist context, the capitalist class, who owns most of society's wealth and means of production. Well, that would be the upper class. It's talking about what pretty wealthy people here, either way, like well-off people. Although nowadays middle class is like pretty fucking wealthy. You can't afford anything. You guys know what I'm talking about. Interesting because he already has a song called Affluenza, right? And what he talks about on there, I'm interested to see if there's any parallels, sort of. They're not the same thing, but it is interesting to see him come back around with this kind of song. Let's hear what it's all about.
Talks and talks about the rich are wrong. They cheat on wives, never pay the price. I'm a low-class guy, that sounds pretty nice. I want to be with the bourgeoisies. I want to see how the bourgeoisies party all night. To be with the bourgeoisies. I want to see how the bourgeoisies party.
It's fun to think about, because yeah, like relatable. You know, I want to be with the bourgeoisies. I'm not sure how long I want to be around the bourgeoisies. You know, I think I might want to just like dip my head in and then come back to reality, because I'm not sure how fun a time they actually are, and plus, you know, Diddy and all that. It's fun to think about Conan, wherever Conan may have come from, and reaching the point where Conan is a part of that now. Conan's a part of the bourgeoisies is partying all night type circles. Like he's in those. He's got access to all that now. So it's fun to think about like actually accomplishing like, you know, what you made this song about. That's fun. The song's not for me. It's just not made like for me to listen to. I could see it working for other people that just like are more into like, I don't want to say just having a good time because so much of this album is that. But like I do need some level of like singing in my songs, less so than like the chanting type stuff, but that's fine. It's one track, all good. We're gonna move on. Forever With Me, track 9. Ooh, sounds like it's gonna break into Can You Feel the Love Tonight.
I ain't sorry, I wouldn't change a thing, but it'll take a lifetime to get better. I ain't sorry, though I should probably be. I think I'm gonna love you, you're forever with me.
Hey, hold up. You know what I like about this? Is that, let me go back a little bit. There's some guitars coming in. First of all, comment down below if you're not married and this is like a potential wedding song for you. Or if you are married and you want to renew one day and then this is a potential wedding song for you. Or if you never want to get married but like in some weird fantasy where you did get married, this is a potential wedding song for you. What I really like about this is that a lot of wedding songs are just all the good shit. It's just the good shit. Straight arrow, good shit. It's not realistic. This is realistic. It's like You're the reason that I cry. I still think of all the bloodshed, somehow bittersweet. All the bloodshed, all the shit we've been through, all the fights, all the like up and downs, all the downs. A lot of downs, but it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet because it'll take a lifetime to get better. That's our lifetime together that we can work on this. I ain't sorry. I'm going to love you. You're forever with me. Like, this is like really beautiful in a way because it touches on so many downs, but ultimately, like, this is your person.
But it'll take a lifetime to get better.
I love how he sings that.
I ain't sorry. No, I should probably be. I think I'm gonna love you. You're forever with me. But it'll take a lifetime to get better. Me.
Yeah, that breakdown and the beginning feels so Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Shout out to Elton John. I've said, and hey man, this is what I'm saying. I've said Michael Jackson, I've said Celine Dion, now I'm saying Elton John. Like, these are all artists that dominated 80s and 90s. Like, this is the era we're coming from here. This is the inspiration for Conan on this project. So it's fitting. The Weeknd too, who was inspired by artists of that era. Yeah, Conan was singing on this track. He was really singing. Okay, I talked about the track just as far as appreciating like just how wedding song forward it is to me, in my opinion, and touching on those ups and downs, and again, especially the downs. So now we're gonna move on to Eye of the Night, track 10.
In the street, you're here, you're haunting me. The eye of the night. I got the keys, I scramble to the door. You're here, you're watching me. I'm walking to your corner, I see you in the streets. You're here, you're haunting me.
Oh, that was a fun little song. It's so short. It's so short. This is one of the songs I look forward to most in the car, I would say. Yeah, that's like a return to in the car. Revisit this song in the car. Leave a note for that in the edit, Michael. All right, Boys and Girls, track 11.
Nobody cares that you're psychotic. Fathers and daughters, all their beds are open.
What?
Nothing ironic.
What?
I want you, I want you.
Fathers and daughters.
I need me, I need you, I need you.
Hey.
I need you to love me. I want you. Boys and girls, boys and girls, boys and.
I think that's a really interesting song, like, as far as from Conan's perspective. Again, I keep talking about Conan's lived experience. That song is as much as any of the songs about Conan's lived experiences, right? And just a lot of like his dealings with in life when it comes to love. That fathers and daughters dropping their pants, like, that's what he thinks of this person, is really funny. This album is having a little bit of a second half fall off for me. Just a little bit. Just for me. The thing is that like the songs are still, they still fit the album. Like this, you can't argue that the sound of the songs don't fit the album. I'm not exactly sure what I want to say right now about like why I'm not enjoying the last three. It's really just the last, although I did enjoy Forever With Me. So it's just like a couple songs here and there. It's like Eye of the Night is like definitely more so. I started having fun with it towards the end. I want to hear it in the car. Not a bad song whatsoever. Just like want to hear it in the car and look forward to that, but not on the level of like tracks 1 through 6. I really started at Bourgeoisie's. Which, hey, I mean, it's hard to keep up like that kind of pace. To me, he was on like an album of the year type pace. I mean, this project was knocking me in the face with how much I was loving it. And I still love it as a whole because most of the songs are the songs I really enjoyed. I'm just talking about a couple songs at the end here. And it happens, man. Like, it's hard to keep that going. It's hard to keep that momentum going on a full project. It really is difficult. But hey, if these last couple tracks come back swinging like the first half of the album, then we're all good. Killing Me, track 12.
But the thing is, we haven't spoken for weeks. I love you bad. That's the problem occurring. But sadly, I worship every moment we meet. So you take and you take, cause you know you can. And I
Hey man, hitting them up for these booty calls. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. It's 2 a.m. Haven't heard from you in weeks. You're calling me at 2 a.m.? Come on. I deserve better. I'm hurting. Yeah, I like where this is going. We're back. We are fucking back, baby.
Now you're tossing a rock at my window.
No.
Just go away, but you claw at the locks till I let you invade.
Why?
You're killing me. Too busy deceiving and cheating and lying and competing to know how lucky you are. You're killing me.
I talked about in the beginning of this album Conan's ability to make these sad ass songs bops. This is what we have here. Worst part about that type of scenario is that the other person knows it. Is they know. They know that, like, that's why they can call you at 2 a.m. and haven't not spoken to you at weeks, because they know that you're gonna answer, no problem, because they know they've got you like that. And it fucking kills you, and you know you're better off without them, but you just can't help it because there's something about them that you just can't let go of. Oh, that one hurts, but it's a bop. But it brought me back. It's the spirit of the album, man. Like, I really, and again, the other tracks still fit the album, just didn't hit me as hard as like a lot of these other tracks. But Killing Me hits me like the other tracks. We're back, baby. Winner, last track. Let's close this great time. I'm so glad Killing Me was good. I'm so glad Killing Me was good. All right, Winner, track 13.
Packed my bags.
Which, again, looking at streams, if there were a couple singles, I'm assuming it would have been Never Ending Song and Winner. So this could have been a single. I don't know for sure, but I do have that in mind when I listen.
Packed my bags at 14. I hadn't planned on leaving, but you haven't been back home for days. The pots and pans and roaches.
Fucking hate roaches.
They're glad I'm finally going, 'cause even them, they shudder at your name.
The roaches shudder at your name? That's tough.
You don't really want to hear the truth, do you?
There's been a lot of disses going back and forth in the rap world right now. J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, Metro Boomin. A lot of just disses back and forth. That's the hardest diss I've heard. That's the hardest diss I've heard this entire year. The pots and pans and roaches shudder at your name. Damn, the roaches shudder at your name. Ooh, because I shudder at the roaches. Because, get it away from me.
Is that there's no one who ever has done better at making me feel worse.
Oh.
Now you really are making me feel worse.
Oh, that
now
rhyme.
You really are the winner. Yeah, there's nothing.
Of course, Conan remains sad at the end of album 3. It wouldn't be right if he didn't.
How do I somehow feel guilty when you're the one who let it get this bad? You don't really want to hear the truth, do you? There's no one who ever has done better at making me feel worse. Now you really are the winner. We want to hear the truth, do you?
The song is so ironic. It's like so tongue-in-cheek. I really love that. Just we're like celebrating this person the entire song. Like, here's your award. You're the one. Like, you win. You're the best. Ha ha ha. Meanwhile, like, every word around you being the winner is about how shitty you are. You're the best at making me feel the worst. It sounds a little bit like it's the one about the person in the final fight, where he just needed that closure with somebody, and clearly this is just somebody that, like, he needed to get away from. that's clearly what's going on in this song, which is the theme in a couple other songs as well. Man, guys, I was thinking about it particularly during the last 2 tracks because I needed to get to the last 2 tracks before I made this choice I'm gonna make. This is my favorite Conan Gray album. This is my favorite Conan Gray album. It is. And I really enjoy his first 2 projects for different reasons. My previous favorite was the previous album, Super 8. Conan's done the rare thing nowadays where he went from Kid Crow to Super 8 to Found Heaven. Like, he's gotten better each project. And I just have so much admiration for the risk taken in jumping into this sound, which is such a completely different sound from the last 2 projects, and actually pulling it off. Again, I know I pointed out a couple things towards the end about, you know, not feeling tracks as much as I did the first half or so, but even with that, like, taking this as a whole, I can't forget the fucking high I was on tracks 1 through 7, particularly like Fainted Love. That Fainted Love, Lonely Dancers, Alley Rose, Final Fight, that run is so good. It's so good. And then there's a littering of a few other great songs across the album as well. So yeah, he sounds as good as he's ever sounded. Again, he paid homage to a sound and did it in the right way, in my opinion, on this project. There's so much inspiration from these artists of a different era and age that I just feel like he should be so proud of. The songwriting is still classic Conan. That's the thing too, like, to change your genre entirely on your 3rd project and to still have your classic songwriting that comes from your lived experience, that comes from such a personal place, and fit that into this sound, which is again so different. Must have been such an interesting process, a fun process. I'm sure at times a frustrating process. And for all those reasons, and again, the songs more than anything, this is my favorite Conan record. Yeah, absolutely. Found Heaven, man. What a great time. What a great time. What a great time. This album has just made me so happy, man. Lonely Dancers, Supremacy. Lonely Dancers and Alley Rose. Those are my favorite tracks on the album. Those 2 back to back are just unfair. But yeah, as a total, just so good. So proud of Conan. And now I gotta find out when the tour is. Because imagine these songs on tour. That's crazy. Shout out to you guys for hanging out with me. Appreciate you guys. All the way back to my other Conan Gray reactions, and just lots of love to you all, and I'll see you for whatever's next. What's going on, everybody? Michael.Beveraggi here. You see the title, you see who we're here for. We are here for one of the greatest songwriters in the industry currently, in my opinion, Lizzy McAlpine. Lizzy McAlpine. It's time to listen to this older project. I've been anticipating this pretty heavily. 5 Seconds Flat is, well, first of all, that's a video I did a pretty long time ago. I don't remember when, but it's definitely like well over a year ago. It's gotta be one of the best times I've had on this channel. You know, I recommend if you haven't seen the video, go check out my reaction to 5 Seconds Flat. Not that I've rewatched it anytime recently. I just remember the feeling. I always remember the feeling the music gives me. Whether I remember the video or how I reacted or not, I always remember the feeling. And the feeling I had listening to 5 Seconds Flat was just an incredible feeling, man. It was a feeling of discovery. A feeling of discovery and joy that I discovered this artist and was so joyful to have discovered them. Because it's so, you know, guys know the feeling. You guys know the feeling when you discover an artist and now you know you got this artist you can add to your discography, an entire album at that, in 5 Seconds Flat, that I was just so blown away by, whether it be like the incredible vocals that Lizzy gives you, the incredible songwriting again. She's just got everything covered, you know, as an artist. And when I listened to the album, I was so excited for everything that Lizzy was going to do in the future. And here we are. It's interesting because I watched her interview that she did on Zach Sang, and she talked a lot about feeling completely disconnected from 5 Seconds Flat. You know, and that's just holding no place really for her in this moment in her life, which I always find interesting. Like, I know a lot of fans don't always respond greatly to that when they love a project so much, right? I know 5 Seconds Flat is a beloved project. I completely understand that sentiment personally. I think it's just normal to not feel represented by an old version of you, essentially, because that's what that is. You know, these older projects that a lot of artists no longer feel connected to are just an old version of themselves. I think even if, you know, if you're someone that doesn't make art on any level, I think you can still probably relate to just feeling disconnected to an older version of yourself. So I've always understood that. When Lizzy said that, you know, I was all good with it. It doesn't take away how much I enjoyed the project. And that's another thing too, man, is like doing what I do here on the channel. I've become pretty tapped in to music listeners in general, and I just think there's like this huge, enormous wave of music consumers, music listeners that are looking and longing to be understood by the music they're consuming, by these songs and these albums nowadays. And I think Lizzy just absolutely inhabits that space of an artist that makes music that can make the audience, the listener, feel understood. I think a lot of that comes down to just writing from such an honest place, and it makes it easy to sort of just put yourself in that position as a listener. And yeah, I'm sure these are things we'll talk about as we go through the album, but it's just one of the things I look forward to the most when it comes to anticipating this project. But yeah, guys, all that being said, for the full uncut version of my reaction to this album, as well as 5 Seconds Flat, as well as like literally over 1,000 videos, just that are all completely uncut and unedited, you can check out my Patreon, the link's in the description. Great way to support me and the channel. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to subscribe. That'd be wonderful as well. We're so close to 100K. We have been on the road for what seems like a bit now, and I see the finish line, and I'm just so excited to get there, guys. So, because this is a group effort to have gotten there, and I want to celebrate with all of you when we do. So, all right, guys, let's get to the music. It is what you are here for. It is what I'm here for. So let's do it. Let's do it. The Elevator, track 1.
It wasn't slow, it happened fast. And suddenly the only thing I saw was you. Can we stay like this forever? Can we be here in this room till we die? I think we can make it. I hope that I'm right.
Okay, wow. Man, I'm a huge sucker for a great opener. A fucking huge sucker for a great opener and a great closer. You give me a great opener and a great closer, and your album just went up however many points to Gryffindor. And this is a great opener. I really like this. It sets the stage for, I already know, like Lizzy talked about this album being pretty much all about a relationship, like a single relationship that didn't work out. So I already have that context. This is clearly like you meet somebody, it happened fast. She said it herself. You meet them, and all of a sudden you lose yourself in them, like they're everything. She says it. I had everything to lose all of a sudden. Can we stay like this forever? Can we be here in this room till we die? Like, you've romanticized it immediately. You just don't want it to go anywhere. Like, you really want this to work out, and it's all happened very fast. And she sets the stage great with that, not only as far as like the message of the album, but that music, man. Like, I started to get some goosebumps when the music started playing. Definitely a different sound instrumentally than what I was hearing on 5 Seconds Flat. Reminded me of a lot of what Harry Styles does instrumentally as far as the sounds in there, and that music outro with what I was hearing from the instruments, which I love. Really good start. Yeah. All right. Come Down Soon, which is interesting because it follows The Elevator. So it's like, is The Elevator gonna come down soon? I don't know. We'll see. Track 2.
You wanna leave, yeah. Only if I leave with him.
Okay. This is a vibe so far, man. I'm gonna try and stop bringing up the fact that I watched her interview, but one thing she mentioned is the album really coming alive once she met this band, and then the band just turned the album into something that she knew was a final product. You can hear, I mean, that band is really doing work here. Like, you can really feel the songs being alive, both track 1 and early on here in track 2, with the instrumentation.
This could ever last this long for me. Oh, it'll calm down soon. You'll see. Oh, it'll calm down soon.
That's so negative.
There's something here. I'm biding time till it disappears. Oh, it'll calm down soon. Nothing this good's ever really good for me. Oh, it'll calm down soon. It'll calm down soon.
Again, that's great work by her band again. It's almost a cheat code. It's almost a little bit of a cheat code having this great band, because I'm going to call them great already, because 2 tracks in, I'm loving the work they're doing as far as the instrumentation goes. So you got this great band. You got Lizzy's voice, man, which she could sing the dumbest song ever. Like, take whatever the dumbest lyrical song is of all time, and she could sing it, and I'll be enthralled, because her voice, man, something about her voice is just very angelic and perfect pitch and all that stuff. All the you know, you watch all the vocal coach videos, right? And just insert thumb instead of me, and they'd be saying all the greatest technical terms about Lizzy ever, right? So you got that going on, you got her voice, and you got the band, and then you have her depicting these situations lyrically that you feel like you can and like live in. Like, they're very vivid. Like, I'm very much picturing the early on stages of this relationship, and you know, the whole like, will they, won't they, like, because they're early on, are they gonna kiss each other type thing. She said it at some point. Yeah, we stand there in the freezing cold, we wonder who's gonna kiss who first. Like, it's like this early on in the relationship. They're not even a relationship yet, just early on in the courtship. It's just a fun feeling, you know. But then you have in the back of your mind, like, oh, well, all this is just going to go to shit at some point, because that's just what happens with me. So I love the writing. I love the music. I love her voice. And that's what makes it a cheat code, because you can't not enjoy this. You can't not enjoy this based on those things, which gets me very excited for the rest of this project. All right, Like It Tends to Do, track 3.
If we were standing in the same room, would we be in separate corners? Would I actively avoid you?
Ooh.
If we were standing in the same room, would you find a little window and finally make your move?
I like that writing, because she's like, if we're in the same room, this sounds like the end of a relationship, and like, you just happen to end up in the same room, and it's just really fucking awkward, and like, you have nothing left to say to each other, which is interesting placing it here in the track list. But it's hitting me in this real sad way. But I just really like the lyricism of, you're standing in the same room, and then you say, would you find a little window and finally make your move? It's like a window is in a room, but she's talking about a window of opportunity, a window of time. That's just little things that the writer in me really enjoys, that Lizzy always scratches those itches for me. Yeah, it's pretty sad, man. And the way I love the way she sings the song. The way there's this line right here. She says, like, whatever, which is a theme in the song, would everything have changed like it tends to do? Which I feel like speaks to not only her experiences, but I think that's just like her view on love in general and relationships in general, and just like, things change, people change. Like, that's a real life thing. It's not even like your own experiences, it's the stuff that happens around you and to other people. Things reach their end, and you know, things change, like she says, and it leads to situations like this. I love the whole standing in the same room, and then it ends up being just her in the same room without this person in the room because, again, that's the evolution of the relationship. They're no longer there. So, the relationship has ended. People are entering one by one, and she used to hope that it would be him that entered the room. And now we've reached the point where she stopped hoping that it's him, which is another normal thing. And that's like the grieving process, like you grieve, you hope that you get to see them again and have another conversation of some sort, whatever it might be. But like eventually you stop hoping and you stop grieving and you move on. I feel like that's also what happened here a little bit. I love the way she delivered this line right here.
Or would everything have changed like it tends to do?
Yeah, she's just very intentional in this project so far with, like in Come Down Soon, she was very intentional with the way she delivered her vocals. She did it again on Like It Tends to Do. And I'm really here for all of it. All right, Movie Star, track 4.
I'm special. He sees me. He chose me. Can I come over? Will your friends be there? Even if they are, I don't care. I wanna change. I wanna grow. But it's physically impossible to stand here and not say that I love you, even if I don't. Who am I to you?
What?
Who am I to myself? What are you changing about me? I feel like a movie star, but it's getting old. Being famous for someone.
That's so interesting, man. That is so interesting. This is like an interlude-ish song. It's very short. It's more about, it's just like you got your acoustics and Lizzy's vocal, and it's really just about the message of the song more than anything. And there's quite a message here. I mean, she's all in on this person. All in. Like hey, can I come over? Are your friends going to be there? I don't care. Like, I still want to come over, even if your friends are there. Like, that's when you're not worried about, like, who you have to, because when you're dating someone and they've got people over and you want to go over, you kind of got to worry about like the person you have to be around, the person's friends or family and all that. So it might stop you a little bit from wanting to come over and see the person. But she wants to see this person so bad, it's fine. Like, she doesn't care who's over. So like, she's really all in on this situation. But then to get to the point where like there's this real self-awareness. I want to change, I want to grow, but it's physically impossible to stand here and not say that I love you, even if I don't. So she might not love this person. She might just be like really into them, or more into the idea of needing somebody or being with somebody more than anything else. She just feels the need to say I love you, even if she might not, which speaks to like her needing to grow and change as a person, because obviously that's like a habit you don't want to get caught up in and keep going to as a default, like relationship after relationship or companionship after companionship, because that's not good at all. And then like to say she, like, the whole situation makes her feel like a movie star being famous for someone. I'm not like that just makes me think really hard. I love to hear interpretations about that from other people, because that one just has me thinking a lot. Like, is she being put on a pedestal? Because that's what it makes me feel like this person's putting her on a pedestal, which makes me think more about this track in total. I love these short tracks that make me think a lot. That's what this did. And these tracks like these are important. When you have like longer tracks on albums and you can complement those tracks with interlude shorter type tracks that make the listener just really think, you're doing something good. All right, All Falls Down, track 5.
Looking around, 'cause it all falls down on you at the same time. Yeah, it all falls down on you at the same time. 23.
So yeah, listening to this project, I can feel some inspiration, like multiple sources of inspiration, whether they be much older, whether they be more modern. I can just hear Lizzy. This is Lizzy present day, as I imagine so, especially after hearing the interview. I'm starting to think about 5 Seconds Flat and how different these projects sound. They sound very different. And it's interesting, Lizzy talking about making 5 Seconds Flat to kind of cater to what people want to hear and doing things that were popular at the time just to, again, cater to what people want to hear. This is very different. This is less so doing that and more so feeling like, again, inspired by multiple different sounds and potential artists that she might have been inspired by, but more so it just feels like Lizzy. It feels like not, made to cater, to anybody but the artist making it. I'm feeling that in the music and I'm really enjoying that.
And a sold out show. I am happy, but I'll probably cry after you go home. Doing fine.
Alright.
But I believe myself again, and it all falls down on you.
I love this one. It's like a little party.
Falls down on you at the same time. 22
We're counting down.
was a panic attack.
First of all, 22, like the whole age, was a panic attack. I assume she was obviously with this person at the age of 22. Obviously, she was still with them at 23 because they're showing up to her shows and she was happy, but like gonna cry after they go home. Doing fine, like I always am. Am I that good of a liar that I believe in myself again? But I love the panic attack, and then like the everything just exploding musically and sonically to kind of make us feel the panic attack. This is, I really like. This gives me like some old school vibes and like pretty groovy at times. I love that it all falls down on you at the same time. I love just the way that line sounded, and it just gives me both sides. Like we've gotten a lot of like I fucked up in this, not a lot, but we've gotten a bit of shit falls on me in this album, but it also falls on you. Like things are going both ways in this project so far, which I always appreciate the accountability, but also dishing it and like just keeping shit real. I love that about writing. It's hard to do that in writing. The hardest thing to do is hold yourself accountable. But I just love the both ways of it. All right, staying track 6. I kind of want to listen to All Falls Down again. Honestly, like that was a really really good track. I really love All Falls Down on You and it's really really nice. All right, staying track 6.
Whisper to me, baby, I'm too far gone to care. I wish I could have said what
Interesting.
when it was right there. How can you look so peaceful when you know I'm gonna leave? What happens when you love me dry?
Oh my goodness,
I
Lizzy.
give myself to help you get by.
Holy shit.
I keep on lying and sweating at night.
Her voice.
Hold me until someone sends me a sign.
Her voice with these lyrics punching me down right now.
Let this go forever. Hold me until I find the love.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. We found my favorite song. We got my favorite song. This is incredible. This is so good. There's barely, you open the lyrics and there's not a lot. And it's a, 2.5 minute song, which nowadays is, normal. This is so good. This is so good, man. Everything, the music, her vocals in this song. It's my favorite vocal performance by her in a song, up and down, the whole thing. The layers, and the filtering, and then the end there, and the use of reverb, and just like her general delivery on all the lines. And the lyrics, man, the lyrics are punching me down. Everything, her vocals, the lyrics, everything is punching me down. This is great. I don't even know where to start. First of all, hold me until I find the nerve. It's kind of funny. Not funny for her. This is not funny for her. This is the least funny song out of all the songs. Because my goodness, I feel the pain in this one. Gotta kind of laugh my way through the pain. The whole like, if I let this go, maybe I'll be okay. Like sending it to space, watch the planet. It's so smart. Just time. A passage of time will help me get over this. A passage of time will help me get over this. That's kind of the only way to get over this. Get over like the bullshit situation we've gotten ourselves into. The only way to do. Just love the way she describes the fact that time is the only way that it's gonna happen. But the whole like, I'm too far gone to get, like, whisper to me, baby. They're clearly like lying in bed. The setting is set by this great songwriter, as she always does set the setting for us. I'm too far gone to care. Immediately, tonally, the song is set. We know we're in a bad situation here. I wish I could have said what I meant when it was right there. The moment's passed. Like, I should have said it there, but now I'm at the point where I just don't give a shit anymore. And, like, how are you just looking so peaceful asleep? Like, you know I'm gonna leave. You know that we have unresolved shit here. Like, there's stuff that we really need to talk about, work out, maybe not work out, maybe, like, break up. But, like, the fact that, like, we haven't had this conversation is driving me insane. And the way she depicts it is just, and then across a song that just sounds so good. That line, man. What happens when you love me dry? What happens when you love me dry? Okay, all right. We gotta move on. I can spend all day on that. That's my favorite song. Staying, Lizzy McAlpine. Top tier song in her discography. All right, I guess track 7. Oh, that was good.
I guess it's all about the things you want but never get. I guess it's all about trying. Now I am sick and you're probably drunk. You're saying things and they sound like love. I guess it's all.
There's a lot of like sounds like love, but it isn't really love on this album.
All about timing. I guess it's all about the things you have but didn't want. I guess it's all about dying to love someone.
She said it, man. She said it before. It's so like, I'm just dying to love someone, whether I actually love them or not. Like the more so the idea of it, to fill some sort of void, whatever that might be for me, or just society tells me to, or you know, again, it just like heals some sort of other trauma that I've got temporarily. It's just about dying to love someone. And she said it before. I really like this song a lot. I kind of just want to get caught up in it. It's a great project so far. I feel like that last part really is made for the tour. I feel like the last part's really just intended for, hey, we're gonna have some really dope moments live on this tour, and like fan involved moments, and that's what that feels like. I really like this song. I'm really loving this project so far. Usually I give it to like the halfway point to kind of gauge, like, you know, where I am in total, because halfway is halfway. We're almost at the end. And I really like this project. Damn near love this project. It's not only, I feel like it's one also that I'm gonna love more on re-listens, which sometimes that means I'm not having the best time, but it feels like it could grow. That's not what's happening here. I'm having an incredible time, and it feels like it's gonna grow that much more because there's just so much to enjoy out of this album. I've had a couple experiences on the channel where I was listening to the second album. This isn't Lizzy's second album, though, right? This is her third album. It's her second album I've listened to. I haven't listened to her first album. And I've had a couple experiences where I've listened to the second album of a couple girlies, but I think it was their actual sophomore album. And I just did not enjoy that experience as much as I did the first album, which is fine. You know, these are young artists in their career. They're going to make much more albums that I'm sure I'll enjoy. And maybe lots of people enjoyed those albums, so maybe they just weren't for me in a way. I was fearful going into this because I was like, is it going to be another one of my girlies that I'm not going to enjoy this follow-up project? And I just can't take it. I can't take another one. I can't take another one. And that's not what's happening here whatsoever. This is great. This is really great. I just wanted to get that out there because I was nervous going into this because I really didn't want that to happen. All right, Drunk Running, track 8.
What did you mean when you said that you were sober now? Caught you in bed with a Red Bull vodka 2 weeks out. What if it was all my fault? What if I drove you to it? I was only honest sometimes, and I think you knew it. Make a person out of memories, they won't live up to it. I'm so sorry I stayed. One stops me. Nobody takes you from my hand, even when you break your leg drunk running. Someone ought to hold me to my words. Say I love you and then drink it backwards.
Why is this song so sad to me? Why is it so sad to me? I think I know why. But I'll save that. Yeah, like feeling responsible for someone's drinking problem. And just the way she wrote it. Yeah, that was that's all I got on that one. I love that song, I think. I need some time. I'm gonna try and compose ourselves here and listen to Broken Glass, track 9.
Broken glass on the table. Pick it up, hold it to your throat. I can see who you are now that the windows broke. I know you've been hurt, but you did it first to me. We started with the end, broken glass again. You know I've been hurt. Did I do it worse to you?
this song, as much as anything, outside of its toxicity, uh, do you have the "It might seem like I love you, but I just don't want to be alone" theme, constant theme in this project? It makes me wonder what it would sound like if Lizzy made more music that sounded like this. Particularly, like, was it here?
I want you now, and then I don't, and every word is a landmine. I hold the glass against your throat, but I can't do it this time. It might seem like I love you,
This is
but
dope.
I just don't want to be alone.
And it opens up there and it kind of just turns into like a more classic Lizzy McAlpine song. But that part there got me like excited at the possibilities of what future Lizzy McAlpine music could sound like. Not that it all needs to, but I love the experimenting. I love the experimenting. I love that. Like, that's a really exciting possibility. And a song that's just really, like, the metaphors in here are, they're a lot. They're a lot, but it's a great way to expose and talk about the way that, like, you finally saw someone for who they are. That's what happened. You finally saw someone for who they are. And it leads to some real truth telling, such as, like, the not keeping it to yourself. Like, the narrative earlier when she's talking about, like, the whole I love you, but I really don't. Like, I'm just, narratively earlier in the album, it's been this internal need for love, even though it's not actually there. And now she's at the point where she's saying it externally, communicating it to this person. It might seem like I love you, but I just don't want to be alone, because we reached the point where we see each other for who we are. And this is just it, like broken glass. Broken glass, man, represents a relationship too. All right, let's some great songwriting, man. Some great songwriting. You Forced Me To, track 10. Another one that sounds like it could go in a hell of a direction.
You're on top of me, and I'm under you, and it never stops. I am guilty, aren't you? I know that I loved you, but you loved me harder every time
I wonder if she feels like that's one of her crimes. She's definitely admitting to multiple crimes. She literally says crimes in plural. But I wonder if one of those crimes is that. It's a follow-up line, like, you loved me harder than I loved you. I mean, that, like, can feel like a crime when you're supposed to be in it with somebody, but, like, really in it. She says it, you're on top of me and I'm under you, and it never stops. Like, we're not on the same page, and one of us is up here and the other is down here.
I am not the same as when you met me. I have changed because you forced me to.
Ugh. The way she said forced, she forced it. It's different. I do like that it is different. The whole, first of all, like, songwriting wise, she does what she does every time, right? She's just consistently so good. I love the accountability. I just love both sides being told. But I like that there is a difference as far as, like, all these songs sound very different, and, like, she's very intentional with that, it feels like. And then you have a song here that's just so focused in just its guitar. And then obviously at the end you get that piano piece, a little bit Addams Family feeling, like the whole thing a little bit. I don't know if I don't know. It might need some re-listens. It wasn't my favorite song on the album. That's all. It's not a bad song though. All right, Older we listened to on Patreon. I did a dedicated reaction video to that. Just say really quickly, Older, the singles that lead up to albums, especially albums like this that are just so story driven and driven around one central topic, that makes these singles that much more important. I thought Older was, especially in learning that the album would be about one single topic, which I didn't know about when I listened to Older for the first time. Now when I like re-listen to Older, it just hits that much harder. So I think Older was just such a great first single, considering again the narrative of the whole project. All right, Better Than This, track 12.
Look what I've turned into. What if I'm not a good person? You always say that I am. You don't really know me at all now. I think that I'm not who you think I am. But I like to be seen and I like to be wanted. Someone will love me better than this, better than this.
And you.
Someone will love you better than this. It's probably wrong that I never was honest. Honest to God, I was scared.
I really like this song. Reminds me actually a bit of You Forced Me To, in that it's really just rooted in that guitar. It's a different style of guitar and it's different style of vocal. And but probably like both lead me to like the song more than You Forced Me To. But focusing on Better Than This, it's a really giving song, man, because like she's giving to this former partner. She's like talking about the good things about them, but she's also talking about like the things that she needed that they both had and didn't have, and gave and didn't give, and same thing on her end. And she says literally like the whole point of the song, someone will love me better than this, someone will love you better than this. I really appreciate like that dual perspective, and the song just sounds really nice, man. It's Lizzy McAlpine singing at her utmost capability to a acoustic guitar. What the hell is not to like about that? Like what? It's really enjoyable. Really enjoyable. All right, March, track 13.
Rock into the water. Watched it sink down to the bottom. Trying to find the lesson in it all, but never looked much like my father.
Oh, this is interesting.
1 year older, but somehow I feel younger.
Okay. This is
How
the song for her father. That she does this, right? She gives track 13, is it right, in her albums to her father. Okay.
didn't know it'd be this hard, so far away, and then it hits you. Didn't know it'd be this hard, so far away, and then it hits you.
I like this. This I know this is like a full length track, and it's almost 3 minutes, but it does feel interlude-ish. It kind of sits as a movie star did, as The Elevator did. Again, even though it's longer than those tracks, as a Staying did, but don't even. Staying is like, I think that was my favorite track on the album, right? If I recall. We're not going to talk about Drunk Running because I don't need to relive those emotions. But I appreciate, not obviously like, the piece of it for her father, of course. It kind of takes us in a little bit of a different direction for the first time on the album. But it also speaks to the rest of the album as far as like just the growing process and pains of life. So I appreciate it for that, where it stands in the album. It's just a nice, like, slower piece at the end, where things have seemed to slow down a little bit at the end of the project. Interesting enough, I'm excited to hear Vortex, because it feels, just by title, feels like it would be more upbeat. Considering we've gotten like a bunch of slower tracks, it feels like it might go in that direction. It's also very long. I just saw the time. All right, let's jump into it.
So 1 second into the next.
Yeah.
Text.
I like the oh, some nice piano there. Let's go back a little bit. I like because in this album we're clearly we don't have it all together. In this album, it's very clear. So I like that like oftentimes when an album ends, there's some sort of resolution that either resolves everything we've been through in the album or shoots us into a new period of growth. And I like that, like, this so far, it might go somewhere different, but as of now, it doesn't shoot us into that growth. It's more so like, I'm still learning. I'm still figuring this shit out. I feel like the last track speaks to that too, March, and she just says it here, like, someday I'll be kinder to myself. Like, I'm still figuring this shit out. I'm still still working it out. Whether that was now or just when she was writing the album. Like, obviously, maybe since she wrote the album to now, she has sorted some of that shit out. But certainly at the time, she was still working it out.
And you're screaming at me, and I'm watching it fall, and I'm slamming the door, and you make yourself tall, but it's always an act, and it never lasts long, 'cause I always come back when I need a new song, and I'm tired of this, and the way that it feels, I'm not there anymore, this has never been real, we're just awful together and awful apart. I don't know what to do anymore.
That's that Vortex.
Someday I'll be able to let. Someday you'll come back and I'll say no.
Wow, there's the growth. That'll stop the Vortex. Okay, I like that. Real nice. I like that. I like that a lot. It's a great closing track. That's a great closing track. I talked about at the beginning what a sucker I am for opening closing tracks. She did the thing. The elevator to Vortex. The elevator is the literal start. It's the literal start. And you talk about such a short song to start, such a long song at the end, kind of indicates the length of what they went through. A Vortex, it was like never-ending circle. She broke the circle at the end. Said someday, well, with hope, potentially, someday I'll be able to say no when you come back, and I will, and I'll get there. But it's complicated, man. You go through this album, it's complicated because this person does serve her in a way, but not in the way she like really needs, and she's really working her way through figuring all that out. And it's made so clear. I really enjoyed this out. I really enjoyed this album. That 1 through 8 run of the album is just excellence. Like, I could run those tracks back over and over and over again. There's gonna be some tracks on the back half that I will have to go back to and see how they affect me on second, third, etc. multiple listens. I already know that I'm a fan of older, but some of the other tracks I definitely need to get back into. I do like the closing track. Yeah, Staying is such a standout on this project to me. And Drunk Running, again, I'm not ready to even revisit the emotions that song got out of me. That's a special. Again, I can't go there right now. But Lizzy did the thing with this, man. I talked about, again, being a little bit let down by a couple sophomore projects. And again, I think this is Lizzy's third album, but it's my sophomore experience with Lizzy. It's my second album listening experience with Lizzy. And I mentioned earlier being a little bit let down by some sophomore projects. As of recent or over the course of the past year or whatever, I don't really remember. But like this, I love this. This is great. And what's so cool about it, it is so different from 5 Seconds Flat, which I expected, but I was nervous because I love 5 Seconds Flat so much. This is so different, but it's so great at the same time because it is its own thing. It can live so separately from 5 Seconds Flat and feel like you don't need to like connect with the albums in any sort of way. They can live in their own eras. I gotta see her on tour now because I want to hear these songs on tour. The instrumentation is fucking fantastic. Her voice, the songwriting's out of this world, And again, just the maneuvering through a relationship that's clearly not for you is depicted just fantastically, man. It's heartbreaking all over. It's very accountable all over the place, but also dishes it on the other end. Like, it's just a real relationship that obviously wasn't meant to be, and she just depicts that fantastically, like I said. So shout out to Lizzy. You remain one of my favorites. I'm so glad you made this. So glad I have this album to just listen to for the rest of the year. It's gonna definitely end up being on one of my most listened to albums whenever the wrapped time comes around at the end of the year. I already know it. This is just right up my alley. And shout out to all you guys for hanging out with me, spending time with me, and also making sure that I listen to a Lizzy album and supporting me on these videos, because listening to music with you guys is always going to be my favorite thing to do, continues to be, and I look forward to whatever's next as far as that goes. Peace.